What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel with On 3. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to talk about the points of emphasis for Nebraska in 2022. Welcome into the Hard Count, the People's Show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a daily basis. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. We're going to leave it at that. Nebraska has been a talking point on this show for good reason. Really interesting program. Scott Frost going into what just about everybody would tell you is a make or break year. They did a lot in the portal, did a lot to retool that staff. The winds of change are blowing in Nebraska, or they're hoping they are, after a 3-9 season, in a season where really they could have won, I'm not going to say all those games, but the stat is very widely spread. I mean, 8 of those games, they lost by 1 score. So you can do the math. They were really close. I'm going to talk about what needs to change. What points do they need to emphasize going forward in 2022 in order to get to where they want to be? Now, if they do these things, I'm not saying they're winning the Big Ten. I'm not saying they're even playing in Indianapolis when it's all said and done. I'm just saying to get to where they need to be. For Scott Frost to be able to keep his job, these things need to happen. And Scott Frost has said as much. So I'm not saying anything wildly new. We're just expanding on these and making it simplistic and getting to the bare bones of this thing. First and foremost, there needs to be improvement on special teams. You hear coaches throw out the cliche, hey, special teams be special. No, you don't even need to be special at Nebraska. Quite frankly, you just need to have a higher success rate. 8 for 16 on field goals a season ago. When you're 8 for 16 on field goals and you lose 8 games by a score, come on, y'all. Like that, we're talking about a lot of these being layups. That's what some of the best teams do. They make their layups. To put it more literally, they make their field goals, okay? I understand there's some degree of this to where you don't even want to kick a field goal, right? You want to be able to get that first down and get 7 points when you're in the red zone. But ultimately, if you can make field goals, at the very least, that puts more pressure on the opposition to where maybe you have to go score a touchdown instead of a field goal to keep the lead that you want to keep. It just changes the complexion of the game if you're more effective at the field goal kicking spot, okay? In addition to that, Scott Frost said it, that punt that got blocked against Iowa, that lost us the game. So it's not just field goals, it's all across the board. If you can be solid on special teams, you don't need to be special. If you can be solid on special teams, that's a positive step in the right direction for Nebraska. And really was the Achilles heel for them, because when you're giving away points on special teams, you're just poking holes in the raft. It's not necessarily something you need to be, like I said, phenomenal at, but just be good enough to not put holes in the raft and take on water. That's first for Nebraska. Second, these transfers need to sync up. Because we've talked about it. We got a whole video on this channel. Go check it out. Portal Power for Nebraska. They did a lot to retool this roster at key positions, at the edge rusher position, at wide receiver position, at quarterback. There's a lot of pieces at premium spots that are going to be new. And Scott Frost said it at Big Ten Media Day. He said, you can have a lot of talent. If you just have a collection of talent on this team, that's great. Never turn away talent. But having talent is not the same as having a good team. So you need to sync up, you need to get on the same page. And the fact that it's at such premium positions, I think emphasizes this even more. So for Casey Thompson, everyone is assuming he's going to be the guy at Nebraska. If he's not synced up with receivers, we got problems. Doesn't matter if you can throw it a quarter mile for Casey Thompson. If you can't hit your guy on an out route because your timing's on, we got issues, okay? If you can't read the defensive end because that mesh is funny with your running back, we can't even get the play started. Now, what I will say is with these 15 transfers that they've got in, it's going to take a second, right? Like it may not be first practice, we're running and gunning. Now, the benefit for Nebraska is they have a little bit of a runway. Northwestern is probably up for debate as to how much of runway that is, because it's a Big Ten game, got to win it, playing abroad. But outside of that, they have North Dakota and Georgia Southern after that. Then they have Oklahoma September 17th. So depending on how you feel about Northwestern, you have a 3-game runway to get this thing going. So when you get a heart transplant, there's a reason they don't discharge you immediately. There's a reason why they don't just sew you up and say, all right, good work, you're out of here. They let you rest. They let you kind of get your bearings about you. That's what this 3-game stretch needs to be for Nebraska. Just get the heart pumping again. Get everything moving. Get everybody on the same page. Get synced up, because come September 17th, when Oklahoma comes to town, we got to be rolling. We got to be synced up. Crucial, crucial, crucial to have these transfers all playing together. Cannot overstate that. Finally, got to have the killer instinct. You know it. I know it. Scott Frost knows it. Everybody in that locker room knows it. You got to have the killer instinct at Nebraska. And he said as much. 3-9 last year, folks. They could roll that same team out there, no transfers included, and go better than 3-9 with that schedule. That's just the fact of the matter. A lot of these games, they just straight up did not finish through the tape. And it showed. Because 8 games by 1 score, if you're a Nebraska fan, you're probably sick to your stomach hearing that stat over and over and over and over again. But there's a reason why it's a point of emphasis. Because when you have somebody on the ropes, even more so, when it's neck and neck, when you're going blow for blow, and it's the fourth quarter, you got to throw a knockout punch. You got to have something about yourself to dig deep when you're tired, when it seems like you don't have anything else left. You got to find a way to throw one more right hook and end this thing. Because time and again, for Nebraska, they were, even if they weren't ahead, they were in it. And you're one play away. You are one play away from getting a win. You got to find a way to finish. Got to find a way to be that team that takes the life out of them. It has to happen for Nebraska. Now, the benefit is, I think they got a lot of players on this team who are synced up with that mantra. Casey Thompson, coming from Austin. He came here to play for Scott Frost. Make no mistake about it. So for him, if you want to play for the guy that you committed to next season, boy, you better show up. You better ball out. You better play well enough to allow him to keep his job, and that goes for everybody else on the roster. A lot of these transfers came to Nebraska, like I said, to get that second chance, more or less, to get into a better situation, to get to where they want to be. And like I said, committing to Scott Frost, if you want him around, you better keep up your end of the bargain. So everyone's in the same boat here. There's not some sort of one camp, two camp. It is, we are all in the same boat. We're all in some way, shape, or form backed into a corner, whether it's our career, whether it's team. I mean, whatever it is, you are all backed into a corner. You got to fight your way out. There is nothing more terrifying than standing between a hungry dog and his next meal. Got to find a way. To summarize, special teams, you don't need to be special. Got to do your job. Transfers, let's sync up. Let's get together after practice. Let's have that extra team bonding. Let's find a way to get on the same page, because come September 17th, it is go time. Then finally, got to have the killer instinct. Got to find a way to finish the deal in the fourth quarter. When there's blood in the water, you got to frenzy. Crucial for Nebraska to get to where they want to be. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We want you along for this party. We're this close to 10,000 subs. We want you with us. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.